The biggest flash crash in crypto since October 10th, 2025 just happened. $108 billion erased from the market in just 6 minutes. 500 millions in longs liquidated in 30 minutes after crypto set another historical weekly candle. I mentioned to you guys over on X just yesterday that this weekly candle that we've seen, the size of this weekly candle, which will close later today, I don't think it's going to manage to close above $500 billion. But nonetheless, this has only happened in crypto's history two other times, a week that we saw in the terms of size this past week. Lots of crazy things going on in today's video breakdown. We're going to touch on the XRP, Solana, and Canton analysis that we've been giving you all accurately, keeping you all in the loop. We really, truly hope that you all have appreciated the level-headed accuracy that we deliver here at CYPRX. We're going to do a full breakdown of start to finish of everything that we've been covering over the past consecutive couple of days to just show you guys the level of accuracy that we as retail investors now have access to. And this new era of information and data is the new oil, and retail traders that aren't basing their investments and trades off of speculative theories and hype, and instead are using institutional data that is readily available at our fingertips, will be the ones that come out on top. And we here at CYPRX have found a way to deliver that data to and into the hands of retail investors. And we're living, breathing proof that it works, that it's here, and it's ready for you guys to execute with. So that way you have an edge in these markets and not just these theoretical price predictive mindsets that have existed in past cycles. We're done. We're past that. Old TA is dead. Fibonacci extensions, trend lines, all that crap is garbage. We're here to move past that and mature. And we are going to lead the way in this new era of retail investing and institutional adoption of digital assets. So we're going to get into all that. Then after, I'll read our Delta and Dark Pool PDF explaining the software that we've built here at CYPRX that we deliver to the community members inside the Discord. So stick around for that as well. So wild week that we had. All right. Absolute wild week that we had. And not only did we add a massive amount of market cap to the total crypto index, but we also see some volatility to the downside. Now, personally, hopefully I'm, maybe expecting this to just be profit taking. We'll see how the data comes out next week. We have so many fundamentals to still keep in the back of our mind. We have inflation next week with core PCE. We have the Jackson Hole Symposium where Chair Warsh is going to be speaking. Markets will look towards any forward guidance or any just kind of rhetoric that will, hint at where the Fed could potentially be in terms of their perspective around interest rate hikes, inflation, the economy. So that'll be next week. I think it's on Thursday, Friday, if I'm not mistaken. We also, of course, have the Middle East tensions ongoing, where Trump has switched his strategy from economic strain instead of military action and attacks. We'll see how that unfolds in the next couple of days and weeks and months ahead. We obviously, of course, have tariffs heating back up, and outside of that, labor market figures, oil, dollar strength. We'll all be paying attention to that next week. We'll be keeping the members updated inside the private community with updated reports. But wow, just what a time to be alive right now. And so showing you all how we've been tracking this. And we're probably one of the only communities on the internet that is available to do this for you guys. And I want to really break it down and show you guys how not only on one crypto pair, but on multiple different crypto pairs, we are doing this for you guys publicly. So that way you can see what you have access inside of the CYPRX Discord, because you could do this on any asset class, any tradable pair that you want. And I'm going to physically show you guys how we do this publicly for you all. Mind you, again, putting your analysis on the line and having it and standing by the level of accuracy that it delivers takes a lot of guts, right? Because when you're wrong one time, it says a lot about what it is that you promote. And we're here to show you time and time again that this information, the software that we built here at CYPRX, is the most accurate software available to retail investors on the face of the internet. And we stand by that. So let me show you guys. All right. And then we'll give an update. We'll go over some updates because we did have some updates on the dark pools on, I believe, Canton. I'll double check. I don't think we've had any updates as of time of recording on XRP yet. And Solana, of course, all the dark pools that we were previously talking about have been hit. So we need to know what to go about if there's been any changes. And I'll give you guys those updates in today's video. I said here and reply back to this bull theory post. All right. CYPRX community gives you the levels days in advance. The question I get asked the most around dark pools is, do dark pools really matter when price is pumping or in price discovery mode? We have to think of these dark pools as having access to the most accurate price data that only few of the most renowned institutions have access to. Our institutional scalper with over 13 plus years of experience and hedge funds built the software for the CyberX community so retail traders have a level playing field. No more guessing this next cycle. And we documented the most in the literal bottom of the most recent pump. And I want to show you guys that process today using all timestamps and pinning the tweets that we put out on the charts. All right. Over here on this post, shout out to, it looks like maybe like a Tim, or we're just going to call it Timato. He said here, no fluff. We appreciate no buff, straight up alpha. Keep up the great work. The team CyPRX, right? So we really appreciate it. And then Daryl underneath of that post said, yes, I'm tired of seeing all the charting stuff with the Fibonacci retracements, et cetera. And I replied and I said, the era of retail TA, of technical analysis, is dead. We are in a data-driven environment now where data is the new oil, data is the new currency. And the retail investor with the best data will lead the way in this new era of institutional adoption. So I said here, more and more people this next cycle will wake up and they won't want overinflated hype content. That content will die out. We know that retail traders are maturing, and we know that what existed in previous market cycles is not going to keep the average retail trader alive in these next cycles. Think about it. If you bag held the entire pullback from October until we just recently retraced, how can we improve in the next cycle to come? Because we don't want to repeat the same mistakes or we're going to get the same results, right? And so we have to mature as retail investors. We have to take what's available to us and mature with the changing tides. In previous cycles, speculative, theoretical price predictions might have held you in terms of where you invested at, so on and so forth, but it's not going to carry you on into the future. What's going to carry you on into the future is maturing in your investing and trading approach and really buckling down and learning these markets, learning what drives fundamentals, what drives liquidity, what drives volume, right? Where all that liquidity, where all that volume is located on the charts. Not with predictions and speculative theories, with real institutional data, considering that we are for a fact headed into an environment where these markets are not going to be primarily driven by retail investors anymore. They're going to be driven by institutional investors. And so you're going to want an edge. And people will want that accurate analysis as we go into price discovery mode. And CyPRX for now, and I would say for a very long time, because to catch up with the software that we built, it would take years. We will be, for a very long time, the only retail community on the face of the internet with access to this institutional dark pool data, and it is available to you all. And we're trying to wake people up, and people are starting to realize, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful to see people winning. So cheers to you all, Team Otto. Cheers to you, Daryl, for waking up out of this past 17-year saturated mindset of just garbage that has existed. We're past that. We're done. Let's throw that up. Let's rebirth and let's mature onto this new phase together. I'm telling you all, it's a massive enlightenment when you realize what is available to us now as retail investors. Two of our dark pool members, just showing you guys, Malaine and Ruby, who pretty much runs our CyPRX general chat, smashed XRP this week. This is a message that I sent the 24 hours crypto on the 19th of August, right before price pumped. We were chatting it up with each other. And I said, bro, just use dark pools and XRP becomes the easiest asset to invest in. Wait for buy dark pools to buy. Wait for sell dark pools to sell. Offload a bit of your position into stable coins and reload again at buy dark pools. It is the easiest approach. It's insane. And members are doing it. Here's Malaine's trade from this rising. She made $4,000 on XRP. Ruby, probably one of our best traders. Go follow him on X. Ruby Heart Drips. He makes bomb music. Had a freaking 1,644% trade from dark pool to dark pool during this most recent pump. Right? And it's insane that this is possible. And it's all possible because of putting aside all the garbage that exists out there and focusing only on what matters. Volume, institutional levels, dark pools, deltas, blocking out the noise, blocking out the hopium, blocking out the hype, and locking the F in. No matter if you're a day trader or you're a dollar cost averager that just spots trades, invests, and puts crypto in your cold storage wallet for the long run, the goal is to have a good positive edge that minimizes risks and maximizes rewards and keeps you in the game the longest without speculative, theoretical, nonsensical bullcrap, right? And it's possible. Let me show you. Starting with the total cryptocurrency market cap, using this little tiny tool over here on TradingView, you can take Twitter posts and you can copy them over on TradingView, and it shows exactly where these posts were put out. So I'm going to show you not on just the total crypto market cap, but also on XRP, Solana, and Canton. In collaboration with the dark pools, we have guided you guys through this most recent volatile market event where crypto, as I showed you all at the beginning of today's call, added in 1 week one of the biggest weekly gains that we've seen in crypto's history. This has only ever happened 2 other times. I believe the previous time, the first time it happened was $568 billion in market cap, and that was back in, I think it was 2023, 2024. The second time it happened, it was 518 billion market cap added in 1 week. And then this past week, even though I don't think we're going to get a weekly close above 500 billion, we might. We got 7 hours left before the weekly close. But this is the third week in crypto's history that we've seen over $500 billion added in 1 week. If we get a weekly close above 500 billion, it'll be the third time in crypto's history in 1 week that this has happened. So what were we telling you on June 26th when price was at a buy dark pool at the $2.05 trillion threshold? There's a whole bunch of video breakdowns on YouTube where I was screaming, if this level holds, this could be where we start to see buyers step back in. The only other 2 dark pools beneath this level were 1.84 trillion and 1.71 trillion. And we've had these levels on our charts for months now. And we saw a nice, beautiful buy delta held pattern. Buyers started to absorb sell volume, and we started to see some good consolidation. And at the bottom of this area, you can see here, this is where the Twitter post came out on June 26th. I said, the only thing anybody should be having a hard time figuring out right now is what layer ones to buy. Let's go. Let's go. If you freaking paid attention to this post, you are in profit. Not significant amount, especially if you were buying at highs. But if you are a brand new investor and you saw this in the fear, wow, what a generational opportunity. Imagine you come into crypto for the first time, right? You were never able to get into Solana at sub 20 bucks. And the first time you bought Solana, you were able to buy it at 60 bucks. Let it run all the way to the 103 dark pool level. Take your profit when we started seeing profit taking happen from the dark pool. And now you can reposition that profit back in at lower level dark pools as a beginner investor with no technical analysis experience needed at all. Literally just trading from dark pool to dark pool. Nuts. XRP, we come over here. Let's look at some posts we're putting out, and then we'll backtrack and go over all the updates and levels to be paying attention to. So this post was put out August 9th, 2026, when XRP was trading at $1.01, give or take. We were hovering in between $1.01 and 98 cents. And this is August 9th, 2026. You can see the post. We're here just to show you all the timestamps. Look at the little tiny analysis we gave you and look at the levels, right? So we were talking about if we can sustainably break and hold back above $1.16, if we can push through $1.36, then the next bullish targets to the upside come in between $1.77, $1.66, and $1.57. Dark pools. And look at where price freaking touched to the absolute T, $1.66. Beautiful, beautiful push from dark pool to dark pool. This is that move that some of the community members were talking about that they caught. We were seeing beautiful little tiny on the lower time frames, buy delta helds. We weren't seeing sellers continue to prevail with aggressive sell volume. We started to see buyers trap sellers and become aggressive. When we broke and retested above the $1.0751 dark pool, that was all she wrote. Beautiful triple moving average crossover on the daily, and boom, we went straight up into the higher level sell dark pools, where what happened? Offloading and profit taking. And you got people like this bull theory over here freaking everybody out like, oh my God, fucking $108 erased from crypto in 5 seconds. And everybody's like, oh, crypto's scary. No, it was just profit taking. It was profit taking from institutions. They were able to buy it, institutional dark pools. They're taking their profit, they're securing their bag. And where did they do it at? They did it exactly at the dark pools. Now they're going to reposition if they decide to reposition at a discounted price, or sellers have the opportunity to defend against the buyers, absorb that buy volume, and become aggressive with sell volume and push prices back down to the low. We'll see what happens in terms of the fundamentals and the appetite for risk assets in the coming days and weeks ahead. But nonetheless, where's all of this action happening at? It's happening from dark pool to dark pool. Like, you cannot make this up. Look at this. Look at where this massive liquidation event happened at $1.66, and it dropped all the way back down to $1.36. Go back, guys, and look at the screenshot we gave you. Okay. We look at the screenshot and we can see, let's put this back up. We can see right here, $1.66. And mind you, this was on August 9th, $1.66 right there to $1.36, right? Who would have known that this liquidation was going to happen? So think about it. You bought XRP sub $1. You ride it up to the sell dark pools, right? You start offloading. Boom, $1.57 offload, $1.66 offload, $1.77 offload. Price retraces. Where are you reaccumulating at? That profit. Boom, dark pool. Right? If $1.36 doesn't hold, you got more profit to reload back into the market at the next buy dark pool. And you play ping pong. This is the future that we're headed into, right? And it's going to matter. I'm telling you, when we go into price discovery, watch. CYPRX community members, we already know where there are sell dark pools to the upside above current all-time highs. And it's not just on XRP, it's on gold, it's on silver, it's on freaking S&P 500, it's on NASDAQ, it's on all asset classes. This is not a game, guys and gals. I'm telling you all, you gotta level up with your TA, with your information, with your data. This should motivate you. This should make you hungry, right? This should not steer you away and make you think that we're cocky or that we're egotistical or arrogant. This is not to say we told you so. This is to show you that the future is in the hands of the retail investor that takes control. All right? And when you do, you become powerful, unstoppable. You gain an edge where other retail traders are just basing their investments, basing their trading, basing their approach to these markets off of things that might have existed in the past, but y'all, we're going into uncharted territory. Uncharted waters with this institutional adoption. Let's look at Solana on the higher time frame. Let's go over to some things that we were discussing and talking about. We'll roll back to XRP. We'll go over updates in just a second. So Solana. So remember, I'm showing you guys that this is on total crypto market cap. We were talking about this. This is on XRP. So now we got 2 pairs. This is now the third one. We're going to go into Solana. So I said here for you all right at the bottom on June 5th, 2026. Why did I put out this post? Right? I put out this post because Solana came straight down into the dark pool at the $63.60 range. And I noticed, and I said, Solana is trading at $60 for the first time since October 2023. Beautiful rejection from the buy dark pool at the 63.60. Then again, another brief update here. Right before, literally the day before, we had this huge bullish move. Honestly, Solana's dark pools have been even more accurate than XRP's. But holy shit, guys, this is insane to see. And we freaking called it for you guys. Beautiful. I hope you all made some money, because that is what we're here to do. That is what we're here to freaking do. We're not here to lose and cry about our bags. We're here to fucking win, right? We're here to freaking dominate. Have that mindset. Have that mindset. Look at the post. We got it right here. August 17th, 2026. What were we saying? Let's open it up. And this is how you can prove all these people that exist out there on the internet. They're fugazi. They're phonies. Chart them, take their posts, put them on the charts. Look at where they're telling you this stuff. Most people are telling you to buy at tops and sell at bottoms. I promise you, chart their shit. I'm not right all the time, but I'm telling you, when we're right, it bangs. It bangs. Nobody has 100% accurate win rate. But when you can show this on multiple different pairs, because there's been call outs, I got to admit, I didn't even know. Like fucking XLR shit on me. XLR absolutely shit on me. Kita shit on me. But when portions of our portfolio are performing well, that's why diversification matters. Diversification is key, right? Peep this. This is what we were saying on August 17th about Solana. Solana gave us another great example of why the dark pool software matters. In our previous update, we highlighted the 74.38 as the most important immediate support and said that as long as buyers defended, the door remained open for higher levels towards $80 to $85. Price then continued to support 74.38, trapped sellers around the level, and then exploded higher. $80.14 was cleared. Price then pushed directly into the next major hurdle around 85.11. That means the bullish roadmap that we laid out beforehand has now essentially played out. The next battle is now $85.11. If buyers can sustainably break and hold above this area, the next major upside dark pool sits around $94.16 to $103.08. Y'all, look at this date. I put this shit out for you all right. Look at this. Is fucking crazy. This is crazy. Right at the bottom at $74.38. And where did price skyrocket into? To the freaking pip. $1.03.8. Boom. Offload. Profits. Where are you putting them back into? Look at this. Where did price pull straight back into after the liquidation that just happened? Right back into 94.16, where right now we're consolidating. There's a battle right now between buyers and sellers. That's what consolidation is, right? It's either going to turn into reaccumulation and price is going to go higher, or it's going to distribute and price is going to go lower and sellers are going to win. Dark pool to dark pool. This is like beautiful music to my ears. This is phenomenal. So Solana crushed it, absolutely crushed it. This massive expansion of liquidity into crypto. Canton. Let's go over Canton real fast. Let's see what we're talking about on Canton. We'll go over the levels on Solana. We'll come back to it. We'll run through it all one more time. Canton, guys and gals. So we're doing it on 3 currency pairs. And to be completely honest, 3 is a lot. I want to do more, but damn, I'll tell you what, my focus throughout the week on my own personal trading career and keeping up to date with you guys on this publicly is actually a lot. So I don't know if we're going to do more, but just understand, like, XLM dark pools have been hidden. HBAR dark pools have been hidden. Bitcoin's dark pools. Oh my God. If you day trade Bitcoin, y'all got to come into the community and test these dark pools. They're freaking spot on, especially on Bitcoin. So where are we at? All right. So Canton, August 17th, same analysis. This is what we were saying in the post. Here's the link to the post right at the dark pool at the 08928. And here's what we were saying. Let's take a look. You guys can see where price was trading at in the post. This is just an enlargement of the post. So I said, if buyers can reclaim the 09453 and turn it into support, this could open the door for a recovery towards the next major upside hurdle around 12,257. So let's go ahead and look at where price came into. Now I have updated the dark pools since this post. So now the new dark pool comes in at the 12,361, but let's put on the 12,257 because that was the old dark pool. Boom. So there was 12,257. And so here again, the reason why I was telling you all this is because we noticed that price was holding with a nice buy delta held. So this is a formation that the market makers make when they're absorbed. Well, when price sells off, sellers get absorbed by buyers. Buyers then throw up a passive defense and become aggressive enough to push through the sell volume. Then all these sellers that are still selling have to convert into buy volume, and that makes price spike, creates a sell squeeze. And that's why we see price run higher, right? And so this happened from dark pool to dark pool. Beautiful. This is now an outdated dark pool. The update is now the 12,361. We've seen some slight profit taking on Canton. We're still holding above the 11,021, so we'll see what happens. But this is just another currency pair that we've tracked for you guys publicly from dark pool to dark pool. So we're doing this for the total crypto market cap right now, XRP, Solana, and Canton. I'll continue to update you all, give you level to level updates. It's not every day because sometimes price is in consolidation mode and there's no real reason to update you all when we're in consolidation. That's when we can just focus on levels, focus on fundamentals, focus on future forward outlooking and just good dollar cost averaging. And then once we have price movement from level to level in previous updates, I'll make sure to give you guys those updated levels. So maybe 1 to 2 videos per week. Sometimes in a bullish case or a bearish scenario where price is really volatile, 3 videos to keep you guys up to date publicly. We're posting these on Twitter. We're posting them on YouTube. We're bringing awareness to dark pool trading, dark pool investing in terms of dollar cost averaging and using real institutional data. And if you guys want access to this accuracy, it is not just me that can have access to this accuracy. I'm not some special guy, but we're here. We're motivated. We're trying to show you all that this level does exist. And it's insane when you actually apply it. So if you've been in crypto for some time, it is now time to really start to think about how you're going to evolve with this institutional adoption. Because I'm telling you guys, especially when we start to go into price discovery mode, you don't just want to be guessing where to offload your positions because of some Fibonacci extension or some magical moon cycle, right? So let's roll over to just give you guys some brief updates real fast. I think I've updated all the, let me just take a look real quick in the Discord. I don't think our scalper has updated anything else on XRP as of recent. Let's see. Where are we at? 136, 157, 166, 197. The only update I need to make is just bringing down the 198 dark pool slightly down to 197. Maybe we'll keep it. We'll just keep it at 198 for the sake of the video breakdown, but that's the only change that I see on XRP for now. And then we'll take a look at DCA deltas on Solana, 96, 139. That would be insane. We'll put it on the charts real quick. Then we got a 115 above 103, but we'll put a 139 on Solana to the upside in case we start to continue to see price rip. 139, 139. I'm just going to leave it at a round number. All right, let's go back. Damn, there's a dark pool on here at freaking 230. That would be nice if we continue to see the buy volume pick up this upcoming week. We got elections in November and whatnot too. All right, let's look at the scalps. All right, so we're sitting well with the scalp deltas. That's what I really try to give you guys on our public forums for these 3 pairs, just to keep you guys more accurately fine-tuned. Instead of the DCA ones are a little bit more drawn out for dollar cost averagers, the scalp deltas are a little more fine-tuned for day traders. All right, so we got 103, 115, and 130. We'll put a 130 on there because that's under 139. And then we'll do an update. 130. We'll keep it. All right. So this upcoming week, just in terms of the fundamentals, we do have core PCE on Wednesday, which will be very important. We have GDP as well, core durable goods, unemployment claims on Thursday. So these are things that we're going to be paying attention to and giving updates inside the community with our fundamental reports that myself, Mr. Mann, gives to the members every single day. Then on Thursday, we also have, along with the unemployment, we have Jackson Hole Symposium start. And Friday is when Fed Chair Warsh speaks at the Jackson Hole Symposium. So be paying attention to that. The market will, of course, be looking for any forward guide. He's not going to give forward guidance, but any comments that he might make that, deliver a more hawkish leaning tone, a more dovish leaning tone, a more neutral leaning tone, where the market perceives the outlook for the Fed rate hikes is really what you're going to want to be paying attention to. What he says about AI, what he says about the economy, what he says about inflation, what he says about, if anything at all, the Middle East tensions and his outlook on oil and his perspective on where the economy is headed. That's what we're going to be mindful of on Friday. Then what else do we have? Revised consumer sentiment, inflation expectations, depending on if those come out above or below significantly previous or forecasts that will have an impact. Outside of that, of course, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is going to be speaking on Monday. Maybe he comments on the recent treasury relief and all that stuff that took place last week that led to some of the bullish run in crypto, the liquidity that took place. I'm not going to get into all that for the sake of today's video breakdown. Trying to think of what else. Middle East tensions, of course. Tariffs have come back into the picture. We've seen a lot of rhetoric and updates on the tariff front. So that'll play an important role in terms of just geopolitical sentiment next week. And then, of course, Middle East tensions. We got the update from Trump switching to a more economic pressuring stance instead of an attacking, physical bombing and whatnot on Iran stance in terms of the war front. So we'll see if that continues to escalate further. We're waiting to see if Trump continues to deliver attacks, and especially with his last ambition of possibly attacking Iran civilian infrastructure, which will be insane, right? Of course, in the background, we need to always keep central bank policy from the Bank of Japan in the back of our minds due to the yen carry trade unwind, keeping any headlines in the back of our mind via Japanese finance ministers making any announcements on yen strength or yen depreciation and interventions. There's so much going on right now in the market that as a general retail investor, if you don't know what you're doing, is not the time to play games with your money and your capital. This is not about to be a game, guys and gals, where you can just dollar cost average in, bag hold, and expect to become a multimillionaire. You got to put in work. You got to understand the markets in which you're actually involving yourself in, and you have to have access to the best data to give yourself the best edge to minimize that risk and maximize that reward. So let's go over to, now that you guys understand the fundamental backdrop for next week, let's just do a brief outlook of TA. All right. Total cryptocurrency market cap, we'll start there because I made a very viral video where I discussed and talked about is the bottom in. And we had highlighted some previous schematics that took place. I'm not going to go back on all of this. Hopefully you all have watched it. If you haven't seen it, let me see if I can find it real quick. Go back, check it out. It's a very interesting video breakdown. And if it's, if it's correlated, if it does start to unfold what I had predicted in that previous video breakdown, then as long as we hold above $2.3 trillion to 2.05, this should be a good, healthy bottom. Where is it at? Right here, I think. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Here it is right here. I'll repost it so it's at the top of my page. I'll go check it out. But nonetheless, all right, right now, total cryptocurrency market cap, looking at the dark pools. So in a previous video breakdown, I mentioned a sustainable hold and break above $2.6 trillion, engulfing all this previous sell volume over here to the left-hand side and breaking and holding above the 50 moving average on the weekly chart. Then it is a case to start to get extremely optimistic about a full-blown bottom being in crypto. If we fail to break above this 50-day moving average, then we could start to see a pullback where we will start to see if buyers defend at lower levels, either bases in this bullish candle where buyers were previously aggressive, where we need to see those buyers turn passive, absorb sell volume and defend against those sellers, or we see buyers reposition at lower level dark pools if we see a profit-taking event and sellers trying to throw up a passive defense to defend at these previous highs. Right. So right now, that's what we're seeing. We saw some offloading and some defense thrown up by sellers. We did not see buyers sustainably break and hold above this previous sell wall or above the dark pool at the 20 or 2.6 trillion. It was a very good move, and we did see a nice little tiny poke above it. But for now, as of time of recording, I think we have about 6 hours left before the weekly candlestick closes, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see what happens heading into tomorrow's market open, and then of course rolling into Monday's market open as well, whether or not this momentum continues or whether or not we see a pullback into the beginning of next week, all right, before the inflationary data on Wednesday and the Jackson Hole Symposium on Thursday, Friday. But if we can, all right, I'll give you guys the bull thesis first. If we can see, these are my two bullish theses for the total cryptocurrency market cap. As long as we can sustainably hold above 2.3 trillion, even if we see a slight pullback, which people would start freaking out again about, but nonetheless, it would be a healthy correction considering that in one weekly candle, we just added freaking $500 billion to the market cap. From mature investors, expect some profit taking, especially considering that the environment is still a little bit uncertain. People are still on edge. Clarity hasn't passed. Like there's still so many things on the fundamental front that could still weigh on market sentiment. So if we see a pullback and some profit taking, it's healthy. If we can see buyers reposition above 2.3 trillion and start to defend and push price back above 2.6, that would be a good case for a nice bullish push back up into the highs, right? If we don't see a pullback and we continue from here, that would also be nice. Obviously, of course, more beneficial for all of our bags if you're not looking to continue to reaccumulate and you want price to go up from here. A retest above that 50 moving average on the weekly would be a very healthy sign that we have now engulfed all of the sellers from the past 2 to 3 months. This is May's. Oh, yeah, this is actually the beginning of May's price. So May, June, and July's price action, we've now engulfed all that sell volume. And if we can turn that 2.6 trillion into support, that would be a very nice case to open up the door for a possible push back into $3 trillion, which would be very nice because, to be completely honest, that to me is like the last hurdle before this thing pops, right? If we can match out all of the sell volume, think about it from the beginning of this year, right? So January, this is January's high right here at about 3.28 trillion. And if we can start to see buyers come and attack this sell volume to try to take out the seller that passively trap buyers here, and we don't see that seller passively throw up defense and push price back down, and we see buyers break that shit, this thing's popping, y'all. This thing is popping. So right now, that is my bull case for the total cryptocurrency market cap. A healthy pullback down into $2.3 trillion would be nothing to worry about. If we can turn 2.6 trillion in that weekly moving average into support, then that would be a very healthy sign that the bottom is completely in, at least for now, seeing some price back up into the $3 trillion threshold. A case for concern would, of course, be an invalidation of that first bullish thesis, a sustainable break and close below $2.3 trillion. Sellers picking up steam, throwing in massive sell volume, sentiment deteriorating, some type of risk-off catalyst, whether it's an escalated attack on Iran, Middle East, whether it's yen carry trade unwind, whether it's freaking, I don't know, recessionary scares, freaking depressionary vibes in terms of lack of economic data strength, like whatever the catalyst could be. There's so many different ones. That would, of course, be a case for concern. On top of technical analysis, a bearish close below $2.3 trillion opens up the door for a revisitation of this overall base. That base comes in at the bottom at about 2.05 trillion, far stretch away from where we're currently trading at, and the sentiment would need to substantially change, but still possible nonetheless. If we cannot see buyers defend at 2.05 trillion, that would also be a case for concern, excuse me, and could open up the door for more downside. The next dark pulls that we have to the downside come in anywhere between 1.84 and $1.71 trillion. Now, again, like I said, sellers would have to put in some work to get us back down there and engulf all this buy volume that just came the fuck back in the markets. But we can't rule anything out, and we have to be prepared just in case it happens. So what am I doing right now? I obviously, of course, over the past couple of months was aggressively buying the dip. I was buying a substantial amount of Solana. I was buying a substantial amount of assets like Metal, XPR, just a whole bunch of different layer ones, layer zeros that I like to accumulate, lend out, or, you know, go and stake for yield. And all of those positions right now are currently in profit. So personally, if I'm going to dollar cost average in, it's going to be on assets maybe like Canton that haven't really caught up to the rest of the market with its rally, still trading at a healthy area in between 10 and 11 cents, which for me, having bought at around 6 cents is a discount compared to when it was trading at about 19 cents at the beginning of this year. So still a little healthy buy in my personal opportunity, a nice discount. I'm not going to go through my entire portfolio. I'm taking small amounts now. I don't chase rallies like this. My criteria for entry over the past consecutive couple of months has been price below $2.3 trillion, risk off sentiment, and 500 to 100, or excuse me, 50 to $100 billion down in terms of market cap on the day has been my entry criteria. And so that predominantly existed in these areas here and here, where my entry criteria was met. Market was fearful, fundamentals were skewed risk off, price was below 2.3 trillion. I was buying in this area. Same thing here, same schematics for my dollar cost average confluences. Price was below $2.3 trillion, multiple days, intraday price was down 50 to $100 billion. We also had risk off sentiment and again, price being at a buy dark pool. So I was executing buys here. Now, this is where strategy comes in, where people start to lose money and they start to get all indecisive. This is why having a strategical approach and using institutional data matters, because now for us here at CYPRX, we were able to accumulate using a healthy strategy at these bottoms. We're not here trying to chase price action now. Now we're just going to let this ride. If it continues to go higher, great, we win. If it doesn't and it pulls back, then what do? We can continue to apply our strategy that minimizes risk and maximizes upside return. by using this data and using this information to, again, help us over time become the winners in this space, not the ones who buy tops, get emotional, and sell at bottoms, and vice versa, and just all that craziness that exists out there on the internet. All right. So I don't even know what the fuck I was just talking about, or the tangent that I just went on, how I got there, but that's what I'm looking at for the total cryptocurrency market cap. Okay. Let's head over to XRP. XRP. I want to go in and I'll do it sometime later this week. We'll keep the ones that we have on the charts for now, but I want to start to bring everybody's attention to dark pools that we have above $2 just in case it starts to get a little spicy, right? So sometime this upcoming week, I'll take a look. I'll ask the institutional scalper to send us a good update on dark pools above the $2 threshold, just so that way we can start monitoring them and map them on our charts just in case we do see some good buy volume pick back up in the coming weeks ahead. All right. But for now, all right, we're going to go back down to the 12-hour time frame because that seems to be one of the clean. Actually, no, we'll do 4-hour for XRP. So back a couple of days ago, we were discussing and talking about this beautiful accumulation schematic. This is where the tweet came out. Roughly around $1 to 98 cents. We were able to buy a nice bag of XRP and ride this wave. I offloaded some profits at about $1.36, which I'm comfortable with. Not too bad for a nice little tiny swing scalp. But nonetheless, price came up into $1.66. And now, since then, we have retraced via this little, what was it, $10 billion blip or whatever that happened, the profit-taking event. I don't remember how much it was. But price came straight back down into $1.36. Right now, on the 4-hour time frame and above, prices are converged above the moving averages, and the lowest 50 moving average on the 8-hour and the 12-hour coexist with $1.07. So for me personally, even if we were to see a pullback all the way back down to revisit that $1.07 threshold where the 50 moving average coexists, that would still be a healthy correction for buyers to reaccumulate and defend some of their previous aggressive positions on XRP and still keep price overall bullish. So bullish catalysts on XRP, number one, for prices to go higher would be a pullback, which would be slightly painful, especially for people that FOMO'd and bought this top, all the way back down into $1.07 for buyers to reposition, defend the base, and push price back to the upside. So I'd still be bullish on XRP for a continuation move higher as long as price is trading above $1.07. If this 50 moving average conveys and continues to push up, if price continues to go higher and it comes in line with the next dark pool, I'll move that bullish thesis up slightly. But nonetheless, still bullish on XRP for higher prices as long as price is above $1.07. If we don't get that, we see a small retracement like we have recently seen, back at least down into the 18 EMA. That price comes into about $1.36 to $1.29. If we can start to see some accumulation here, that would be a healthy sign that buyers are holding price, and that could also open up the door for a nice move back to the upside. The upside target's coming in right now at about $1.77 after touching $1.66 to the freaking pip. $1.77 and $1.98 remain the next upside hurdles. If we don't see any form of a pullback, whether it's a deep retracement or a medium retracement, then that would be nice. It would be beautiful just to see a continuation rally. Nice poke above the $1.66 to $1.57 threshold, testing the strength of these sellers, buyers holding price, stopping sellers in their tracks, trapping them, becoming aggressive, and we could see a nice breakout up into $1.77 to $1.98. First bullish thesis invalidated would, of course, be a sustainable break and close below $1.77, which for me personally right now would need to see sell volume pick up some pace, and we'd need to see market sentiment completely sour from where we currently stand today. So watch out for that, because a catalyst like a very hawkish Fed at the Jackson Hole Symposium and things that Warsh says that scares the market into starting to price in aggressive rate hikes, like any of those catalysts could just boop, just like that, bring the market risk off again. All right. So in an event like that, coupled with technical analysis, a close below $1.0751, and I would start to be concerned of lower prices again on XRP. First, of course, levels will be a revisitation of the base at about 98 cents to $1. A break below that opens up the door for that 91-cent threshold. I still have alarm set just in case, and some capital on the sidelines to dollar cost average into these positions if they do come into fruition. Below 91 cents, an extreme risk-off catalyst like a yen carry trade unwind, some type of liquidity crisis, financial freaking blowout, recessionary scares, like something massive would need to get us there. But it's still possible nonetheless, and I'm on the lookout for it because I would buy a shit ton of XRP if it happened. But we do have a buy dark pool down at 68 cents. So below 91 cents, 68 cents is that threshold. Canton, last update. I think we're cooking right now. Did we do Solana? I think we did Solana. No, we didn't. All right, Solana real quick. Solana very short and sweet. Right now, the 50 moving average on the 12-hour coexists with the 80.14. So a healthy correction on Solana could still come. Don't be fearful if we did see a pullback down into 80.14. Buyers holding, reaccumulating, trapping sellers, becoming aggressive, and we could see price push back to the upside. I was a little bit sloppy, but you get the picture. All right. Medium retracement, we've kind of already done, but a pullback down into 85.11. We got about halfway there, and we could see price push back to the upside. Last but not least, bullish thesis is if we sustainably break and hold above 94.16, turn that into support, and that would be a case to make an attempt to see buyers push into the next dark pool to the upside between $1.03 and $1.15. To the upside on Solana, just in case of an extreme bullish optimistic environment and a nice continuation and the total market cap appreciation, we do have why am I saying $1? You guys catch what I'm saying. $115.81, 103. You catch what I'm saying? I made that mistake. I do apologize, but you know what I mean. Be crazy to get fucking Solana at $1 again. Oh my God. What? $1. Look, I almost said it again. I got to switch my mindset from XRP's price to Solana's price. $130. There you go. $130 to the upside to $139 remain our bullish targets in a extreme bullish environment on Solana for now. God, that was so sloppy. Oh, I'm displeased with myself right now. All right, to the downside, $80.14. Nailed it. There we go. Okay, let's get into it. $80.14 becomes that threshold where if we see sellers engulf buyers at that area, become aggressive, and start to break and close below 80.14, opens up the door for a revisitation of the base at 74.38. A break below 74.38, which was our last line in the sand for buyers to defend, they did. If we can see sellers engulf all that buy volume, that would be a case for concern. Therefore, $74.38 becomes that last line in the sand before I get extremely pessimistic on Solana's price, and we could see another move down into the lows. Below 74, we have 69.72, 63.60, and 54.70 on our radar as our next DCA positions. For now, I'm 110% sitting on my hands on Solana. I bought a shit ton of Solana at like $60. So all of that bag down here in these areas is in profit right now. I'm not chasing this move. I'm happy if price continues to go up from here on my position, and I'll buy more if it goes lower, right? Canton. Canton, beautiful call out. We respected the 0.8928 dark pool, which right now remains the most recent support. We broke and sustainably held above 11.021. You can see the nice, beautiful retest on the 12-hour. Look at these freaking candlestick wicks. Can't get any more accurate than that. Look at how this price action converged. Previously, what did we have at the dark pool at the 11.021? We had sellers come here. Then they aggressively broke the 11.021. Buyers tried to make an attempt to passively defend. They failed at absorbing the sell volume. Sellers trap buyers. That's where the wick absorption comes from. We see sellers trapping buyers, closing price with bearish candles, becoming aggressive below the 11.021. They push price straight back down into the dark pool. Buyers then defended, absorbed that sell volume, and then went ahead to come and test the strength of these sellers here. And we can see they broke above those sellers, became aggressive, trapped the sellers that tried to make an attempt to defend at their previous sell positions. Buyers then absorbed that sell volume, trapped them at the dark pool, retested it, turned it into support, and now they have become aggressive enough to push price into the next dark pool to the upside. So we can see that right now the triple moving averages are converging around the 11.021, which is exactly where the battle between buyers and sellers at the dark pool just most recently happened. So for Canton's sake, if we can sustainably hold above the 11.021, we can see the dark pools turn into support. We can see some good consolidation around the 11.021. That would open up the door for a revisitation of the 13.916 as our next and most immediate bullish hurdle. Above 13.916 to the upside on Canton, we have the 17.094, the 18.194, the 21.363, and the 24.055 in an extreme bullish environment. But nonetheless, for right now, the most immediate upside hurdles remain 12.361 and 13.916. If we don't see a small pullback down into the 50 moving average and the 11.021, Another bullish case for Canton could be a breakout above the 12,361, turning that into support, and then continuing the move higher. If we break below the 11,021, so what would invalidate my bullish continuation thesis on Canton is if we sustainably break and close below the 11,021, sellers are able to overpower buyers and trap them at the 12,361, and then they're able to keep buyers suppressed below 11,021, opens up the door for a revisitation of the base at the 08928. That would be the last line in the sand buyers on Canton's price action. To the downside, I actually just noticed I don't have the downside dark pools on my charts for Canton. So real fast, let me just go look at those real quick in the Discord, because Scalper did just give a recent update. So let's bring those to everybody's attention real quick. To the downside, the 0928 dark pool is the next dark pool to the downside under the 11021, and underneath of 0928, we do have the 06550. So that would be the next downside dark pool underneath of the 08929, 928. And underneath of the 08928, we do have a buy delta, except I don't give you guys the buy deltas publicly. You guys have a buy dark pool and a delta, coming in at the 07373. That's actually a very interesting number, 7373. So in the next update, I'll make sure to plot those on my chart so you guys have them. All right. So bull case for Solana, XRP, and Canton, coupled with the bearish level targets to keep in mind this next upcoming couple of days and weeks ahead until our next update. Hope that you guys enjoyed this update. We do appreciate the love and the support. We're not done yet. We're going to read the Delta and Dark Pool PDF here, but I'm wrapping up the technical analysis portion of today's video breakdown. I really hope that you guys enjoy these level-headed updates, this accurate technical analysis. No hopium, no hype here at CYPRX, just real institutional data when it matters most, not after the move, not after the volatile events in crypto, before, when they matter most. And that is the most important thing paying attention to heading into this new era of finance, especially that is going to be controlled by financial institutions. I encourage you guys to branch out, to think past the retail technical analysis that exists out there on YouTube and Twitter, and try out these dark pools for yourself. Tap in with the community, learn something new, go through the educational process, digest all the educational material that we have inside the Discord, and teach yourself what is available to you at your fingertips as a retail investor in 2026 and beyond. So if you enjoyed, do us that favor, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe. If you are watching this live on Twitter, do us that favor, repost this stream. We do appreciate the love and the support. Can't thank enough all you individuals out there, you lovely, like-minded people that are aware that this exists, are either in the CYPRX community or watch us publicly and enjoy the content that we create. That's just keeping you guys in the loop. No fluff, no, whatever exists out there. It's just so crazy right now what's happening with the average retail investor and what they watch on social media now. So we really do appreciate all those you all who support what we do here at CYPRX. Let's move on. All right.